Hi!
Let's read a book. Let's read a book. We haven't read a book in a while. I don't think we ever read this one to everybody. This is the Cowboy Max and the Case of the Missing Cowboy Boots. Doris. Ready? Cowboy Max lived on a ranch in Pennsylvania with his daddy Dan. Dan was a cowboy too, and people in the area called him Cowboy Daddy Dan. The ranch was called RMMTB Ranch, which stands for Mr. Maxwell T. Bird Ranch. They had a kitty too, who was known as Cowboy Kitty Dusty. And there I am, there's Cowboy Kitty Dusty. There's the ranch. Cowboy Max, his daddy Dan, and their kitty Dusty were all famous in their area for wearing the fanciest cowboy boots around. They also loved their cowboy hats. Max always wore a sheriff's star on his hat. You see, Max was the sheriff on the bar MMTB Ranch. Sheriff Cowboy Max, but it was too long to say, so people called him Max. Cowboy Max. Cowboy Max, Daddy Dan, and Dusty Kitty were in charge of keeping order around the ranch, and life went pretty smoothly on the bar ranch. Until one day, Daddy Dan went to put his boots on in the morning. He went in his closet and realized all the cowboy boots were missing except for one. There's the cowboy boots. They're not biodegradable. Max, what happened to all the cowboy boots? Shouted Daddy Dan. Cowboy Max and Kitty Dusty ran to Dan's room. Wow, they're all gone, said Cowboy Max. Oh no, meow, said Kitty Dusty. I wonder what could have happened to them, Max. Dusty, go check in the closet to see if your cowboy boots are gone too, said Daddy Dan. So Max and Dusty ran to their room and looked in their closets. All of my boots are gone, said Max. All of mine too, said Dusty. We obviously have an important case on our hands to solve, said Sheriff Max. Max knew that as a sheriff he needed to solve this case, and solve it as quickly as he could, too. Sheriff Max asked Cowboy Daddy Dan and Cowboy Kitty Dusty for their help. They said they'd be glad to help Sheriff Max. The first thing we would need to do is look all around the house, said Sheriff Max. They looked all around the house but found no trace of the cowboy boots. Then they went out into the pasture and looked all around, but no cowboy boots were found there either. The last place they could think to check was in the barn. They went into the barn and began looking all around. They looked up and down the aisles and in the stalls. All of a sudden they heard Cowboy Dusty shout, "Look! I found the cowboy boots! Right in the stall!" Sure enough, there was the boots in the stall. It was one of Sheriff Max's cowboy boots. Well, that's a start, said Max. Yes, you did. Let's keep looking in the stalls. Look, I found another one, said Cowboy Daddy Dan. It was one of his own cowboy boots, too. Now we're getting somewhere, said Sheriff Max. Keep looking. I found another one, said Sheriff Max. Sure enough, in another stall, there was another cowboy boot. After looking some more, they found all the missing cowboy boots. All of the missing cowboy boots were found were found in the barn stalls. Who lives in these barn stalls? Yes, the cows and the sheep live here, said Sheriff Max. Oh, they do. I think we need to go out to the pasture and have a talk with those cows and maybe the sheep about it. They went to the pasture where the ranch animals were grazing in the grass. Max came up to the lead cow, Betsy, and said, "Betsy, all of our fancy boots are missing. Do you happen to know where they are?" Why, yes, Sheriff Max. We took them out of your closet yesterday when we were down to the town. Why did you do that, Betsy? Well, all us cows and sheep have such cold feet from standing out in the pasture all day, and when we go to the barn to go to bed at night, our feet are still so cold. We knew you had lots of boots in your closet and thought you wouldn't mind lending them to us to use at night to keep our feet warm. Oh, so that's what happened to them, said Sheriff Max. Well, Betsy, I feel so bad for all of you cows and sheep for having such cold feet at night, but I think I have a better idea for you than for you wearing the cowboy boots to keep warm. How about we go into town and buy some warm booties for you, said Sheriff Max. Oh, would you really do that, Sheriff Max? That would be so nice, said Betsy. You're missing it. So Max, Dan, and Dusty went into town that afternoon and bought enough booties for all the cows and sheep. Then they brought the booties home and passed them out to all the cows and sheep. The cows and sheep were so happy. Case solved, said Max. Hi! A few other times too. With your help, we were able to solve the case of the missing cowboy boots. Let's go back to the house and celebrate with a party, said Sheriff Max. So they went back to the house, got all their party favors out, and had a great party. The end. There's the cowboy boots, and there's Max in his cowboy boots, and Dusty in his party hat, and Daddy Dan in his cowboy hat. The end. And this was the case of Cowboy Max in the case of the missing cowboy boots by Doris. Thank you, Doris. Thank you, Doris. That's you. In cowboy boots, and a cowboy hat, and a scarf. Are you a cowboy? Does that look like you?